Today I'm reviewing the Ivogo Hulk. Hi Vapists, it's Darth Naga here again, and I'm bringing to you another RTA review, and this time it's for the Ivogo Hulk, which is this little bad boy. Let me just show you, there we go, right here. I got sent this by Josh from Ivogo, and you can actually buy it here in the UK. You can buy it from Sub-Own Masters. I think their website's subownmasters.com or .co.uk, whichever one it is, I'll put it across there for you. And it's currently $24.99. You can get them in stainless steel, like this one, or you can get them in black, and you can also get them in like a gold effect. I think it's more brass, but it looks gold. And you do get, obviously there's a changeable deck, which I'll show you in the up close, an RTA deck. There is also, it also takes UL crown coils as well, which is kind of interesting. So it's one of the first tanks I've come across that takes, well, I suppose there are a few out there that this is basically an RTA that was engineered to also take stock coils, whereas a lot of tanks out there on the market take stock coils and then you get a little rebuildable version of the stock coil, so on and so forth. But this has actually got a proper full-on RTA deck. Mine was a prototype sent to me by Josh from Ivogo, so it doesn't have the cool Hulk logo on the actual chimney, and nor around the top and bottom of the tank itself. I've got this on 30 watts at the moment, 0.36 ohm, double stainless steel coils. And as you can see, the airflow is pretty tight with the rebuildable deck. More suited, I think, to it's like a restricted lung hit. But the flavour out of this is pretty damn good. But anyway, I'll tell you more about that afterwards. Once we've done the down view, we come back up, and I'll tell you a little bit more about what I think of it and any pros and cons I might have come across in my use. Yeah, so let's go to the down view and I will show you an up close with this, put a couple of coils in it, wick it up and show you how it's done. Alright, let's go to the down view now! Okay, here we are up close and personal with the Ivogo Hulk tank. What you'll get, because obviously as I mentioned just before, this is a prototype. So as you can see, unlike the one you'll be able to see on the website, mine doesn't have any of the logos or anything like that. Also, mine came with like the bare minimal box and whatnot, and this tiny little bag of spares. Now in there you'll also see a 510 drip tip adapter along with an Allen key for doing the deck that I'm going to show you in a second. So, up close and personal, you've got, oh, let me just take this off first, you've got your wide bore drip tip, as you can see, nice and big there. Just a note, I don't personally use the wide bore drip tip because I found the tank gave quite a bit of spit back with that on. I've just dropped it on the fucking floor. So, oh, I think my wife's just going to pick that up for me actually. Thank you. Right, so there you go, one wide bore drip tip. Okay, let me separate the tank for you first. So, you unscrew it there, and inside, as you can see, you've got a little, it's like a half velocity deck. You've only got the two holes. Why this wasn't a velocity deck, I have no idea. So Josh over at Ivogo, in future, velocity decks if you're going to do it. Half velocity deck, bit weird. As you can see, the air holes on this are quite small. And what I found in practice from actually using it is the airflow is even wide open. With this particular, let me just show you, because you can actually unscrew the deck as well, which is one of the other unique features of this thing. So you take the deck off, and as you can see, the air holes at the bottom are quite small. So the actual draw on that is pretty tight. Let me just screw this back in for a split second. Let me just do that. I'll show you the deck up close and personal in a minute. So here's the actual tank itself. Let me just get this apart. You've got, it comes apart into several pieces. You've got your actual, that's your chimney part there, as you can see, nice and clean inside as well. One Pyrex tank. I didn't actually get a spare with mine, but I'm not sure if it comes with a spare in the actual retail product either. But because the only place I've seen it so far in stock is Sub-Own Masters. It may well come with a spare glass tank. I don't know. Then we got the other chimney part here, which leads on to the top bit. Which if I just unscrew it, as you can see, and there's your actual holes for filling up the juice just there. So let me put this tank back together real quick. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, the threads are all pretty smooth. The O-rings are a little bit fiddly, but again, this is a prototype pre-production model that Josh from Ivogo sent to me personally. So yeah, I expect little teething problems with it, but looking at the actual looking at the actual retail product, they've sorted all that sort of stuff out anyway. So yeah, so that's where you fill your juice in, and yeah, that just screws on and off with the knurling around the edge, and that's pretty straightforward for the tank itself. And obviously it's a push fit drip tip that goes on there, nice and wide bore. Quite a lot of airflow through that bit, but as you can hear when I put it on here, now as you'll notice the air holes are almost fully open. There we go. As you'll notice the air holes are actually fully open, but when I inhale it's quite restricted. So I would say, and I've found in practice, that if you want a nice mouth to lung hit off this, obviously you swap this out for the 510 drip tip adapter, which is in the little spares packet there, and then put your own 510 drip tip on, and you've got quite a nice big mouth to lung tank that holds quite a large amount of juice. It holds 4 ml of juice. It's 22 millimeters. Sorry. It's 24 millimeters in diameter, so it's quite large, quite wide around the base, but it fits nicely on my Asmodus Health. So yeah, that's not an issue. Now, one of the unique features about this is that if you undo the deck itself, you can actually fit Huel crown coils into this, and they just go straight in there, screw in, as you can see, and just like that. So it's got its own rebuildable deck, and it also has it fits Huel crown coils as well. And with that Huel crown coil fitted, listen to the airflow now. A lot more airflow in it. Now I've tried quite a bit with the set that off. I've tried quite a bit with the rebuildable deck. So for the review purposes, I am actually going to be using this. But just to show you the deck, obviously you put your wire in here, tie it down, make sure it's above these air holes, then you can pop the little ring off if you want, pop your cotton down the edges there, and then put the top on like so. Put the little ring on like that, so put the little ring on, and you can put the cotton down the sides, pop the little ring on, and then, hold on, I've got it a bit wrong here. And then, there we go, and then you can just have your cotton, cut your cotton to size with the ring in place, and that works quite nicely. Actually, you know what, I'm going to build this while we're here. I'm going to build this and just show you quickly how it's done, because I personally prefer a rebuildable deck. So, 2 seconds. Okay, so here's the deck itself. I've already taken the little cotton ring off there. Right, first of all, where's my coils? Here they are. Just a simple little, let me just show you that. Simple little stainless steel 10 wraps around a 2.5mm bar. So Tell you what, let me undo the fucking thing first. If I undo the little screws first, that will help. So you've got grub screws on it. You've got a little, there we go. You've got a little, not that you're going to be able to fucking see that, but never mind. Yeah, there you go. Got a little Allen key with it. Not that that was that interesting. And all you do with your Allen key is just undo these little screws on the sides, these little grub screws. That's it, one side, and then the other. Okay, and I take my coil and I put it through these little bits here, line it up with the top of the airflow, and me personally, I like to bend the little legs so it goes like that. Okay, and as you can see that. So the other side, again, grab a little coil, same again, obviously because it's dual coil. It's a dual coil setup. This is definitely not built for single coil because there's no way of blocking the holes, the airflow holes and whatnot. So definitely a dual coil device. So let me just bend those legs there as well, and then you've got, out, there's a bit of fucking stainless steel in my finger. So yeah, it ends up looking like that. Now obviously I've not tightened anything down yet or fired the coils or anything silly like that. What I am going to do at this point though is tighten it all up. So let's just spin that. Oh, right. Spin that here. Ba, ba, ba. Oh, I'm doing that out of shot. There we go. Spinning that all round. Da, da, da. And then this one round as well. So you know, I know I said about the velocity deck earlier, and this being basically a half velocity deck or a very similar deck to the Moonshot. Apart from the fact the Moonshot's air hole's obviously quite high up, but to be honest, it works quite well. It's not, obviously it's not a full velocity deck, but it doesn't actually seem to matter in this case. So let me just trying to straighten these out, sort these little coils out. Oh motherfucker! I think I've lost one. Oh no, hold on. Give me a second here. Okay. Right. Just nearly lost an actual wrap there because I'm stupid and fucked it up slightly. But it should be a bit better now. Right. Okay. Now let me just trim these extra legs off. One there. One there. One there. Where'd that go? Oh. And there. Okay. So, as you can probably see, I've got these coils all sorted. Just pulling them out, making sure they're nice and tight. And that one there. Putting it slightly up above the old airflow. Just so that I can get the maximum amount of airflow when I actually put the cotton in. Okay, so what you end up with is something like that. Pretty straightforward. The coils are pretty even, as you can see. Now let's fire it up. Okay, now I'm just pulsing just to try and even out these coils. There's a bit of hot spotting, so let me just grab, if you can see, there's a bit of hot spotting there. So what I'm just going to do is give them a little rake and a little squeeze. And what I will do, once they've fired up evenly, I will straighten them out as well. There you go. See, that didn't take much. That's all sorted now. Let me just straighten them up and get them facing over those, get them sitting over those holes. Ow, fuck. Ooh. Okay, that one's pretty much there. Yep. Just lift this one up ever so slightly. Hold on 2 seconds. That's it. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, what you've got there is 2 nice evenly firing coils. Right, let me zoom the camera out a little bit. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Now, let's sort the cotton out. Right, I'm going to be using my cotton bacon as per usual. I haven't gotten around to doing my cotton roundup yet, so I won't be using any of the new cotton I've got just yet until I've done that cotton shootout. Once I've done that, then you'll see me using other types of cotton in my builds. Boom, boom, boom. Right. Okay, yeah. Just that. That. Spin it around, do the other side. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my cotton all sorted on there. Now, 2 ways of doing this. You can either try and line it up, stick it in those holes there, and then slide your ring down over the top like that. It's not quite even, but you get what I mean. So yeah, you can do it that way and use the actual ring for your guide. But what I prefer to do, I trim them down before I actually put that in. So I usually take a little bit off there, take a bit off there, bit off there, and a bit off there. There we go. Right. Then pop the ring into place on the top, and then just sort your cotton out as it stands. Give me a sec. Okay, so as you can see, all cotton all wicked up now, and you just literally poke it down into the little channels that you can see around the sides there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to juice this up with some of the Rock Slime Pink Lady that I reviewed in my last review, my last juice review. Then I'm going to do the top fill, show you how to top fill the tank as well while I'm at it, and then we'll give it a vape and see how she goes. So yeah, as with every rebuildable tank, and even with the non-rebuildable ones really, one of the things that most vapors worth their salt will advise you to do is always wet your wicks beforehand, rather than waiting for your tank to soak it up, purely because this hits, it's a two birds one stone thing. First of all, it means you can get vaping quicker. Second of all, it just primes the wick and makes it a lot more susceptible to soaking the juice up when you put your tank on. Okay, so making sure I got that nicely juiced. Let me put the tank itself on. Okay, make sure that your juice holes, not so much your air holes, make sure that your juice holes are fully closed so that all you can see through them is metal. Then take the top cap off, like so, and then fill it up down the holes at the sides. As you can see, the juice holes in this thing are quite big to fill it through. Boom. And now it's full. I'm just going to put the lid back on, screw that down nice and tight, open up the juice holes on here like so. Oh, hello. Okay, so there we go. It's already all juiced up. Tank's nice and full of juice, as you can see, and it's ready to go. So let's go to the up view and we'll give it a vape. Alright, let's go to the up view now. Okay, here we are back in the up view. As you saw, put a couple of coils in this bad boy with the RTA deck on there, and I'll just give you a show you how well it vapes. As you can see, it is quite the cloud machine. The coils in this are coming out to 0.38 ohms, and I'm running them about 30 watts, so it's coming out about 3.5 volts. So that's why I like to vape. I can of course up it. Let's go up a bit to, let's go up to 40 watts, shall we? 40 watts coming out about 4 volts. As you can see, it's quite the cloud monster. I find the airflow on the RTA deck quite restrictive, due to the fact that there's two tiny little holes on it. But if you grab yourself a Ural crown coil, you can see that the airflow on that is quite massive, and that fits in there quite nicely. I might actually quickly, while you're here, I'll show you the difference between the two. Right, hold on. Let me just do a little jump cut, and I'll come back and show you what it's like with the Ural crown coil in it. Okay, so I've just switched over the coil in this. It's now got the Ural crown coil in it, and I'll show you the difference in the airflow and the amount of clouds you can produce, as demonstrated by yours truly. That's a 0.5 coil running at 40 watts. It's standard camphor. It's not stainless steel. I prefer vaping off stainless steel because there's not much flavour with stainless steel, which is really nice. Whereas I find with camphor it gives me a weird metallic taste. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of camphor. But yeah, I whacked it up to 50 watts now. Yeah, it's quite the cloud machine. As you can see, and the flavours, the flavours are actually really good. Oh wow, really strong as well. Ooh, strong. That's not even a burnt hit. That's just such strong flavour coming through. I don't know whether it's the chimney or what, but I have found with this thing, I'm really impressed with the flavour. Especially for a prototype tank. So I guess the full one's probably even better. I'm thoroughly impressed with it, to be honest. I did have a bit of trouble. The problem I had, I'll show you. On this little thing here, it's got 2 O-rings. Now, with the 2 O-rings, this thing's a bitch to remove. It came with that in, and it was really tight, a little too tight. So all I did was pop off the top O-ring and leave the bottom one on, and then even now, it's a proper snug fit, but it does sit in there all right. No such problems with the 510 adapter. The 510 adapter fits really snug. So one of the cons, yeah, you can see the drip tip's a little bit off balance there. It doesn't quite fit properly with the O-ring in. It's a little bit dodgy. But again, this is a prototype model, so the genuine article, the fully retail version, will probably be alright. I don't know. The only other thing I experienced with this when I first got it was a minor bit of leaking the first time I used it, and I found the airflow on the rebuildable deck a little bit too tight for me. I like mouth to lung, but because it's got such a large amount of, because it's got the wide bore drip tip and whatnot, it's not really suitable for mouth to lung. But I don't know, your mileage may vary. You might get a better experience out of it than me. But for lung hitters, just absolutely chucks. Vapor's good, vapor production's really good, and this is using the Rock Slime Pink Lady, and the flavour's really good. I can really taste the apple in the Pink Lady through this. I don't know whether that's down to the Huel crown coil or the tank itself, but it is really good. Airflow is, you've got 2 massive airflow slots on it, one there and one there, and yeah, aside from the teething issues I had with it, now I've been using it for a few weeks and I've been vaping it quite a bit. Yeah, it's really nice. I took it to Vapor Expo back in June, early June. Yeah, I think it was Vapor Expo. Vapor Expo. Yeah, not Vape Jam, Vapor Expo. So I went to Vapor Expo in June, early June, and I used it like all day there, and people were quite impressed. Gave it to a few store holders, said here, have a try on this, and yeah, it's a pretty good tank. I can't fault it, and it's cheap. It's only 25 quid, and with that you get a one Huel crown coil with it. You also get the rebuildable deck with it, and I can't say much more really. It's a pretty good tank. It's 24mm wide, so it fits quite nicely on my Hulk there, as you can see, on my Hulk, on my Helve. And yeah, I'm quite impressed. The build quality's good, the threads are really good, straight out of China. Ivogo, as you know, used to produce a lot of clones, but since then the company's actually started producing their own genuine tanks now. They've stopped doing clones, they're not doing clones anymore, they're now doing genuine tanks, so well worth looking at Ivogo. And my contact Josh is dead set on turning Ivogo around and making them do genuine stuff, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. You know what you're looking at. I think it's 3.5 mil tank, so it's a good amount of juice, but yeah, like any other sub-ohm tanks of its class, it really does burn through the juice like massively. But then with a tank with this amount of flavour, it's not going to not burn through the juice, is it? Let's be honest. All sub-ohm tanks these days burn through juice like a motherfucker. And that's how they produce such good flavour. So, you know, I'm running this at over 5 volts and it's not burning or anything. It's really good. And I'm just effortlessly pumping clouds out like a motherfucking steam train. So yeah, the Ivogo Hulk. You can pick that up in the UK from Sub-Ohm Masters. I'll put their website across the top there. Yeah, I would honestly recommend this tank to anyone who's looking for a new Sub-Ohm tank that's got really good flavour. The RTA deck's a piece of piss to build on, and you know, although the airflow is a little bit restricted on the RTA, it's still better flavour than stock coils, and it's still a really nice vape. So yeah, I haven't got any complaints about this. For Ivogo's first genuine article out the gate, I think this is a really nice bit of kit. And you know, the knurling's good, it's easy to take the top cap off to fill the juice up. And yeah, I really can't complain about it. The 510's nice and snug, it fits flush on all my devices. And yeah, I don't really know what more to say. It's a good tank, I'm quite impressed. And aside from the odd loose O-ring and whatnot that I quite easy to sort out just by making sure it sits in there properly, it's a good tank. I can't complain. So yeah, thank you very much to Josh from Ivogo. Thanks for sending me this tank. If you're in the UK, you can pick it up from Sub-Ohm Masters, as I've already mentioned. $24.99. And I would say it's worthy of your money. I prefer it to the Griffin purely because the flavour's better than the Griffin, and it's also better than the Obs Crius as well. To me, I've tried all three tanks, and the flavour to me is a lot better than the Griffin and the Crius. So give it a go and see what you think. Amazing. Right. Okay then, my little vapists. Until the next time I see you, which will probably be in the next video. Nothing much more to say really, apart from toot toot motherfuckers, toot toot.